Hi everyone, it's your favorite host Alvaro here. Welcome back to another episode of the FIFA Play On podcast. Have we got an episode for you this week? In this week's backstage section, we're talking to an Italian singer with some real operatic pedigree. We're going back to a French World Cup for an emotional around the world section, and in versus, Enya and I lock horns once again in pursuit of the FIFA Play On versus League Championship. It's a good one today, so without further ado, let's jump into our main interview. Hi everyone again, this is the music section of FIFA Play On, and we're going to go backstage with a very special musical guest. This week we're talking to Matteo Bocelli. Coming from a musical family, Matteo has been playing music since he was 6 years old, starting to play the piano. However, Matteo's most startling talent is his voice.
Matteo was 18 when he debuted on stage alongside Leonucci and Sumi Joe to sing Verdi at the Rome Coliseum in his native Italy. What a debut. Matteo, welcome to FIFA Play On.
Thank you so much for having me. It's a big pleasure for me to be here.
So Matteo, before we start, tell us a bit about how you started with music.
So I was 6 years old actually when I started to study music. I was playing the piano. But of course, let's say that music has always been in my life since I was in my mom's belly. As you can imagine, music was in my house 24 hours a day almost. And so, yeah, I was born with music. And yeah, today I feel very lucky to have the chance to have music in my life, not only as a passion, but as a job as well.
Matteo, one of the greatest things that has happened in football in the Premier League, I don't know how much of a football fan you are, but was when Leicester won the Premier League in 2016. It was really unexpected. And then your dad, Claudio Ranieri, brought your dad onto stage, which made it even more spectacular and amazing. He sung the Nascimento by Puccini, and it was just epic. Do you think that there's a connection between the epic nature of operatic music and such an epic sporting achievement like that?
First of all, let me say that I remember very well that day because I was with my dad, and I remember that we met Claudio Ranieri right before the match and all the players. Of course, obviously inside the changing room, it was already like a party, because they already won. They knew they would have won the league, but that match was still important, because they wanted to close the league with a positive score and so results. And that what happened. I remember the performance was very, very emotional. And yes, I think both opera and like an achievement as the Leicester did with in soccer, having common. Success is made by talent and technique, no? And if you want to achieve good results, if you want to achieve like an important goal, you have to, of course, at the base you have to have a talent, but as well you have to work on it, no? And I think opera wants the same. Opera wants a lot of work, a lot of time, understanding how to use your voice and how to approach to that kind of music. And I think that soccer is a little bit the same, no? You have to know, of course, how to shoot, but how to, as well, to approach to the team that you have to play against.
Yeah.
And I have to say, yes, I'm a big fan of soccer as well.
I remember that day. Your father's performance was like the chills that I had. I can never forget it.
And Matteo, before I make a total fool of myself, I just wanted to know, because I had the pleasure to meet you and your dad. Do you remember that we met?
Yeah, of course. I remember that day. We were in Germany for a TV show.
Yeah.
And yeah, it was amazing meeting you. And it was one of my first TV show experience too. And then I saw you even performing in the place where I live in Tuscany.
Yes.
So.
Oh,
yeah.
really?
But in that time I didn't meet you. I was just a fan listening to you.
Oh, well, was it really, man? Was that when because I met you and your dad in Berlin at that show, but I also met your dad
in Forte dei Marmi, I think.
Forte dei Marmi, yeah.
Yeah.
Was that where you were at the show also, or not?
Yeah, the show, yeah.
Ah, okay. Oh my God, crazy. Oh my, that was super cool. For me, it was really an honor, that you all came to watch my show. I was really nervous that day, of course, because I'm a huge fan.
Yeah, of course.
And also, what I wanted to ask you, because I have a friend. He studied with your dad. He was also learning opera. He told me that there was one exercise that stuck to my head. He said, he was called Michael. He said, no, when Andrea was coming, he told me, you have to be able to sing in with the full volume in any position. And he said, and then your father said, laying down like this, you have to be singing. And then he was like, oh my God, like, how does he do that? He's laying down and he's giving out the super powerful voice, do you also have to do like these kind of exercises?
No, let's say that is an example just to say that when you have the technique, the correct technique of your voice, you're able to sing in any position, no? Because when you make opera, you don't sing like in the position that you like to stay, no? You're comfortable in that moment.
Yeah.
Sometimes in opera, I mean, you have to act. So sometimes you have to act standing, sometimes sitting, sometimes you may be lying on a bed.
Yeah.
So you have to be able to sing in all kind of like position, no?
It's an incredible training, I feel, I wish I had that training. And I wanted to know, being from a country like Italy, because I have the pleasure to tour around Italy so much, and I love Italy. It's actually one of my favorite countries after Spain, of course. And I feel it has so much history, so much culture, so much design, so much style, fashion. Do you get like a lot of inspiration from your own country? Is that, do you think it's an advantage?
I think, yeah, I mean, I'm very, very close to my country, of course. And yeah, of course, I've been inspired always from everything that was surrounding me. And of course, yeah, I think that at the end, the results of the experience of your life are put in your music as well, no? Mm-hmm. Even one of my inspiration, like my goal is to bring all these nuances of like Italian nuances and particel of Italianity,
yes,
all around the world. And I know that this is a very hard challenge, but I will try it.
Sure, man, you're doing a great job.
Matteo, I can totally relate. I lived in Turin for just 18 months when I played for Juventus. And it had such a great impression of me when I toured all of Italy, saw the art. Yeah, Italian influence stays with you for sure. So you play the piano, you sing, you obviously speak great English. Is there any other musical talents that we don't know about?
But let me say that I'm trying to sing in a beautiful way, but we still have to see the results. I studied piano and I don't judge myself like a good pianist. Let's say that I studied, and today, luckily, I'm able to accompany myself when I sing. But the word pianist is another thing, no? I mean, yesterday I had the pleasure to meet Lang Lang.
Oh,
and
wow.
Of him, you can tell he's a pianist. If I say in front of him, I'm a pianist, I would be a liar, no? And
that also happens to me when I sing I'm a singer in front of your dad or in front of you.
No, come on. And yeah, I mean, a third thing that I like to do, but even there, I'm not good. But of course, having the passion for music, sometimes I like to practice with the guitar, but I'm not a guitarist as well. So, but it's important sometimes it's always important to learn and try to get better. This is what I always try to do, to motivate myself.
So you've mentioned the piano and how important that is to you. You've mentioned the guitar. In football, we always talk about, our ultimate five-a-side team. And it's something that we've asked other musical guests. If you had to pick your ultimate five-a-side team for instruments, what would you go for?
In this five, you put voice as well, or is a part?
Yeah, you can. Yeah, it's an instrument, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
So saying voice, piano, and guitar, I would add, of course, the drum.
Nice.
And a bass.
And a bass.
Because otherwise, the other option is the orchestra, but you're more than five elements.
Yeah,
there are many.
That's cheating.
Too many.
It's true. You've been doing so many things already in your short career, which is pretty amazing. I wrote down some of the highlights that I've seen on your career, just so we can talk about that. You've been performing at the royal family for the royal family in London. That is quite an achievement.
Amazing.
Then you appeared on The Late Show with Stephen Colbert. Also incredible. And you were modeling for J-Lo, for Jennifer Lopez. Have you ever been like starstruck, or what was the number one starstruck moment that you've had in all these situations?
Probably like the moment that I remember with the highest, let's say, level of fear, but at the same time of joy. Mm-hmm. It's been Sanremo.
Oh, great.
For many people, it would be strange to hear this from me because, friends could tell me, but you've been on Madison Square Garden, you've been on a Hollywood Bowl stage. And I understand that those are like incredible stages, no? But like for an Italian,